Welcome, my friends, to another interesting video, to another exciting blog, a blog where you're going to know, you're going to hear the truth of what's happening out there internationally. Today's video might just get your skin crawling. There might be signs of war. Elliot Abrahams sends a message to President Maduro. The statement said that Elliot's team would do everything possible to prevent long-range weapons from reaching Venezuela. So what does that mean? Iran wants to sell missiles to Venezuela. This long-range military equipment comes directly from Iran, one of the best weapons out there. Let us remember that Venezuela and Iran have come closer since the United States has blocked the purchase of necessary materials to the Venezuelan refineries. This statement also said whenever the long-range military equipment got found on Venezuelan grounds, it would get destroyed right there. During the 1962, US, Russia, and Cuba lived a similar situation. The Cuban Missile Crisis. The difference this time around is that there was a treaty that prevented this from happening. If only President Donald Trump had not broken the agreement the US had with Iran, the Iran nuclear deal or Iran deal. So Donald Trump walked out of the deal in 2018. I believe it was during May, the month of May. Since then, Iran has experienced the most significant sanctions, shortage of food, medicine, and any material or supplies that got imported. Poverty has also increased because some of the Iranian manufacturers can't export. So people lost jobs. When you lose jobs, well, there's no money to purchase anything. And then even if you had money, there probably would not be much to purchase, right? So we all know we can't eat money, right? So there's shortage of everything in Iran at this moment. One of the perfect examples is that Iran is not able to sell its petroleum or oil or gas freely. In 2019, when Guaido self-proclaimed itself interim president, Guaido signed multiple sanctions against his nation, against his own nation. These sanctions have created a devastating effect on Venezuela's economy. A dollar that got crazy out of control, limited food supplies, shortage of gas. Sounds a lot like what Iran is going through at the moment. The governmental opposition supports these sanctions in an attempt to oust President Maduro from Miraflores or the presidential palace. As the elections in the US are less than a week away, the Republican political party are doing everything they can to win the votes of those who dislike Maduro. In the case of confirming before election day the long-range equipment arrived on Venezuela, Trump may take this opportunity to demonstrate its military power and win the elections. We should remember that President from Colombia, Ivan Duque, was the first person to speak about the long-range and medium-range missiles. The question here is, will President Donald Trump use this opportunity or event to show his power and that he's a badass and win the elections. Hmm? So I don't know. He did it once against Syria. He sent all those missiles to Syria. So Venezuela is way closer. Will he do that? Well, I don't know. What is certain is that these missiles are going to reach Venezuela, just as the petroleum from Iran did. As I said earlier, there was an armed embargo that existed against Iran. It ended 2 weeks ago by all the members of the United Nations agreeing. All the United Nations Security Council agreed to annul the sanctions once set in the embargo agreement, and with the ones that the US or President Trump wanted to impose unilaterally. Donald Trump got out of the deal, the agreement, the Iranian deal, and then once the embargo ended, he wanted to impose his own his own sanctions. And the United Nations Security Council said, no, you can't do that. You're not part of the deal, remember? So let's continue. The United Nations is out of context, beyond how each person wants to perceive the situation. Experts are saying that they're out of context, trying to apply sanctions. Iran has the right to sell the weapons they want, and Venezuela to buy weapons they believe it could help them keep their independence and sovereignty. Experts in this matter are saying the US will not attack Venezuela, and these experts are the ones I follow, the analysts that I follow that have not let me down once in almost 10 years. Suppose these long range and medium range missiles, tanks, aircraft, or whatever they decide to purchase, right? I'm just adding here aircraft, tanks, whatever Venezuela wants to purchase. The US will not attack Venezuela. That's what the experts are saying, analysts, experts. What will happen is that Venezuela will turn into the first military power of Latin America. And why this doesn't, why will the US not attack Venezuela? Is because it doesn't benefit them to have a war so close to them. And then imagine if the US attacks Venezuela. I said this before in a couple of videos that if Venezuela gets attacked by the US, China, Russia, and Iran may will come to the rescue of Venezuela and build bases in Venezuela. And that's something that the US doesn't want. The neoliberalists don't want that. So that is the main reason why US will not attack Venezuela. On the 18th of October, the military embargo got lifted against Iran. Nicolas Maduro decided to create a new military command. The military will exercise with advisors of Iran, China, and Russia. Hmm? And this is because the US keeps provoking Venezuela. So what I said before is this is just the beginning. This military advisors coming to exercise or to instruct the Venezuelan military. We could see this as phase one. So you see, my experts are not letting me down, and you can see it, and you can, and this is part of the proof. You may remember how, oh yeah, I have how I told you before this. I said how Iran, Russia, and China would come and set bases in Venezuela. Advising the new military command is the first step. My friends, we have reached the end of this video, and I want you to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be telling you things that you will not hear in the most expensive um, medias. See, I don't have any big screens or any fancy um, set here, but I'm telling you the truth, and that's what's important. Knowing the truth of what's happening around us, and not being around the bush or feeding us, you know, like we're babies, feeding us lies like we're babies, like we can't handle the truth. Okay? Well, my friends, this is the end of my video. This is the end of this blog, but I will be back. Until next time, and don't forget to always help someone. After all, you might be the only one